Alright guys, this is Code Man's Auto, and you must be wanting to take your line flaring skills to the next level. In order to do that, you are going to need a good line flaring kit. So this is the factory flare. This is my flare. I'm going to show you at the end of the video how I made this flare, and I'm going to show you how well it fits into the coupling. But before I do, I want to show you something that's really interesting with this flare that I have already used a couple of times, and I really liked it. So this is a MADDOX. I bought this kit myself. This is not a commercial. This video is going to show you how to take the MADDOX and make a line flare that will help you in your business. I'm not promoting this particular product. I am just saying that if you are in the business of automotive, that you may start thinking about getting a flaring kit that would allow you to make any line that came through your door without having to go to the dealer. Okay, so let's take a quick look inside of this. I'm not going to waste much time with it. It's pretty self-explanatory. When I show you how to make the flare, you'll realize how to use these two different tools. One thing I want to tell you about this particular kit, which is the MADDOX kit, this line cutter was junk. It would not cut my line. I may have got a bad one, guys. Don't hold it against the company. These may be good, but I didn't get a good one. This one's junk. I had to use mine that I've had for 20 years. And I've had a hard time replacing that line cutter that I bought 20 years ago. It's hard to find a good one anymore. So if you run a shop, or maybe you've bought a car, you have seen people who have just taken a piece of line and run a rubber hose up on it and put a hose clamp and expect that to hold transmission fluid pressure. And it will. Maybe at an idle, but going down the road, if you go to pass someone or if you're going up a hill, if you're hauling something, that line will probably slide back off of there and you're going to lose all your transmission fluid. Losing your transmission fluid is a bad thing because it can burn clutches really quick, and you have to watch out for that and not get into that situation. Now, what I have done a couple of times already with this new kit, customers to come to me and their lines were bad. So if you are connecting this line to this line, and you have room to put another piece of line in there, then you use a compression coupling and coupling the two lines together. That's the best way to go from metal to metal. But you can't always go from metal to metal, and the reason is because between the engine, transmission, and the front of the vehicle where the cooler's at, you have to have a piece of rubber hose. So your engine and your transmission are constantly moving. So the rubber hose gives that flexibility so that you do not break your line. What I did was I made this flare, and then I slid my hose over top of the flare. I want to show you. Put a clamp on this side of the flare, and that hose is not coming off. Now this clamp is a cheap clamp. That's not the one I like to use. I'm just using it to show you the difference. This is the same size clamp, but this is a wide band clamp. Always, if you can, buy a hose clamp that is a wide band clamp, and that way you are actually getting two clamps in one. And the hold on this, you get this tight on that rubber hose on this side of that flare, and it's not coming off. So that's what you want. That's how you want to repair your lines. And always use 300 psi hose going from your transmission to your front cooler. And if you don't use 300 psi, what could happen is you blow that hose out going down the road, and you definitely do not want that. Okay, so let's get into making that flare. I want to show you how easy it is to make the flare, and hopefully this video helps. Okay, so I hope you liked this review. One thing I wanted to talk to you about is the reason I made this video, because when you think about going back to the dealership and buying lines, it's not only the price that we have to worry about in this business anymore, but it's the availability. You know, when you pull a vehicle in on your rack and you take the lines off of it, and you realize that you can't get a set of lines for a couple of weeks because they have to be ordered or they're back ordered, and we keep running into this more and more. One thing that will get you out of these kinds of situations is to have yourself set up to where you do not have to worry about whether or not those lines are not at the dealer waiting on you. We have to be very careful with what we're doing. You do not want to pull a vehicle in on your rack, not be able to get it all out of your shop because of a set of lines. We don't want to get in those situations. We do get in them, we just don't want to be in them. So anyway, that's the reason we made this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Please subscribe. This is Codeman's Auto.